The Confederacy of Independent Systems was the formidable foe that launched a brutal campaign against the Republic, primarily their clone troopers. But did they commit war crimes during this time of conflict?
What if they focus the attack on your cannon?
I am utilizing the prisoners from this village as living shields. I calculate the Jedi will not risk the prisoners' safety with a direct assault.
So firstly, we need to understand what constitutes a war crime. So in Star Wars, they're known as crimes against civilization, and there are many things that make this, from executing civilians, inhumane treatment of prisoners, genocides, etc. Now, we know the Separatists do commit some pretty heinous crimes. For example, during the occupation of Ryloth, civilians were used as human shields to protect CIS artillery positions. As well as this, Separatist agents use torture as a form of interrogation, particularly when dealing with Jedi. Not only this, but they also have a history of destroying that which they can't win in combat. Again, this can be seen in Ryloth, where Wat Tambor attempted to seize everything of worth from the world before destroying the capital city, all the whilst forcing the citizens to perform manual labour for his regime. And finally, the Blue Shadow virus. Chemical warfare designed to target a mostly civilian planet, in this case Naboo. How isn't that a crime against civilization? Of course, most notably, crimes are carried out against the opposing faction, in this case the Republic. And the Separatists did carry out numerous atrocities against them. Although the CIS did take prisoners, for example Jedi and high-level commanders and officers, we can't say the same for clones. We don't see any reference to a large volume clone prison. Although clones were often captured alongside high-level commanders, what happened afterwards? We know for a fact some CIS leaders would use clones as a bartering chip, threatening to kill them. However, after this is unknown.
Give it to me now, or I'll start executing your men.
I personally find it very unlikely that they would keep the hundreds of thousands of clones that they would have potentially captured imprisoned. We know the leaders of the Confederacy were frugal at the best of times, and they would definitely not want to pay for this, meaning clones were likely killed on sight, if they were defenseless, injured, even if they were surrendering. Now that sounds an awful lot like genocide. Not only this, but imprisoning them was relatively pointless. The reasoning behind executing enemy combatants is to avoid repercussions, such as jailbreaks. If those prisoners get free, they become a threat again, and with the clones being unquestionably loyal, means retaliation is incredibly likely. Also, holding prisoners takes a lot of resources that the CIS didn't have. Separatist armies don't travel with huge amounts of food, water or shelter, they don't need it for their droid armies, so taking prisoners would be incredibly complex. Now, we see some Republic commanders, such as General Obi-Wan Kenobi, when it comes to the time to surrender, attempt to spare the lives of his clones, and some CIS leaders may agree, but these surrenders were very rare. Droids were far more likely to attack any enemy combatant on sight unless specifically ordered not to, and this is one of the CIS's main issues. Ultimately, the crimes the CIS committed are largely down to their commanders. General Grievous, for example, he was a Kaleesh warlord who'd already committed genocides long before the Clone Wars had even begun, or Ventress, a Sith assassin who relied on anger and hate to gain her powers. Also, the Confederacy used droid commanders and as aides to many of their commanders. Super tactical droids such as General Kalani were programmed to be masters of war, winning battles for the Confederacy. However, there's an issue. Droids don't have a conscience. They were programmed to win, and to a calculating machine, it's easy to see how the execution of prisoners, torture, attacking medical centres, using human shields, and all of the other nefarious acts all make sense. So they're going to use and recommend these malignant tactics, all to achieve the goal of winning. But what do you think of the Confederacy's actions? Were they war crimes, and did they go too far? Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If so, please remember to like, comment and sub as it's really appreciated and helps the channel grow. Also, please follow me on Twitter at TheLoreGuy for regular updates. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.